because we can create a partition here in the space and section off your reception space, which is where we're standing right now, and then your cocktail hour, which is going to be on the mezzanine upstairs and downstairs as well. But once I show you the entire property, I'll illustrate how guest experience would be like upon arrival. Because I'd like to show you our pre-function space, which is our terrace outside, which I would love to have your ceremony there. If you are open. Because I know your date is in July, correct?
Right, we're looking July, and depending on the venue, August if necessary. So we're kind of fluid, but you know, July was ideal.
Perfect. So as you guys know, you guys live in Miami, July, August, it's very hot. It's very, very hot. So, I mean, we do have the space outside, which you're more than welcome to use. It's included with the rental. We do the majority of our wedding ceremonies outside, weather permitting. But it's up to you if you'd like to have your guests outside for 30 minutes for the ceremony in 95-degree weather.
Right. What is the alternative?
The alternative, great question. So we do have a lot of our clients who prefer to get married in the main space itself. Okay. We can have a ceremony in this space, and then we would simply flip the room during cocktail hour. So that's an option as well. And I know it's a little hard to conceptualize what it can look like. I'll show you a ton of images from past weddings, which will also get your wheels start to turn to see what can be produced here outside.
Okay. And what is your turnaround time from ceremony to reception?
Great question. Depending how elaborate your centerpieces are, and if you hire our vendors, they can do it in 25 minutes flat.
Wow. That's impressive.
Yes, and I'll show you some pictures too, because we have a massive storage unit right here where we get to store all of your tables and centerpieces. The chairs for your ceremony will be repurposed, and then we just simply create a reception layout once your guests are in that type of room for cocktail hour.
And the cocktail hour we were looking between, what was the max here?
So our maximum capacity for a formally seated dinner is about 160. 160, 170. We can do up to 180, but it just depends on the size of the furniture that you bring in.
Okay.
Now we do have standard 60-inch rounds and 8-foot rectangular tables. So you could do a mixture of both, or you can do only rounds, only rectangular tables. So the configuration of the seating plan will determine how many guests are able to fit in the space.
And that 160 Gilbert table, 150, would that include the 6 feet, the 6 feet according to CDC guidelines?
Yes, great question. So we're able to operate at a 50% capacity, given the Phase 3 guidelines and the mandates in the city of Miami Beach. Now, we do standing events all the time. Legally, we're able to host 600 guests inside the space. So from a legal standpoint, we can host up to 300, but that's a cocktail style event. Just a loungy approach with the floor plan. We're back and forth with the deputy mayor of Miami. We're able to host events for up to 300 guests. Formally seated, we can accommodate up to 160. So we should be able to knock your group size out of the ballpark.
Before we go further, I parked up front.
That's totally fine. Not a problem. You're totally fine. Totally fine. So I'd like to bring you guys upstairs to the second floor, and I also want to show you guys the terrace outside. And I'll also illustrate. After you. Thank you. So this is the second floor mezzanine. So with the second floor mezzanine, overlooking the main space, now a little bit of history surrounding the property. We used to be a synagogue, a Jewish temple. Hence the temple. So women would pray up here and men would pray downstairs. But now we utilize this portion of the real estate for, of course, part of your cocktail hour. Okay? Now, very simple. Now, this is upon guest arrival for your ceremony. Bear in mind, these curtains right here will be completely closed. So your guests will have no idea what's happening in the main space. Okay? Once your guests arrive, our wait staff can greet your guests downstairs, usher them up the staircase where we came up from, But alternatively, we do have an elevator where ADA accessible. If your guests need assistance, we got them covered.
Very good.
They would cross the mezzanine to go outside for the ceremony if you choose to have the ceremony outside.
Okay.
Okay, and then once we come back inside, I'll show you what we would do if we would have the ceremony indoors. But I want you guys to see the space.
That's the question.
Yes.
Okay, let's say weather permitting. Like what contingencies if the weather? Let's say we wanted to have it outside and the weather doesn't cooperate.
Great question. So about 24 to 36 hours prior to the date of prior to the wedding, we're gauged the weather that week, and if we had to pull the trigger with a rainy backup plan, we would simply take the entire operation that was intended to go outside, bring it inside, and then we would have to take all your furniture and decor, place it in that storage room, and we must do a flip. If we have to pull the trigger with a last minute flip, a labor fee does apply because we have to get 10 strong guys to come in and do the whole thing. Okay, and I'll share those fees with you as well. Now, this is the entrance to the terrace outside, but I'd like to bring you through one of our rooms here. This is a multi-purpose room.
Hi. Oh, this is nice. Sorry.
No worries.
You just can't not.
You're dangerous.
You got 4 of them.
So this is a multi-purpose room, which, of course, with the mirrors. Let's say, for example, during the day, if you'd like to get ready on site with you and your bridesmaids, we can set up director's chairs in front of the mirrors, and we can have this as a full-blown glam station. We can do all hair and makeup here on site. Okay. Now, alternatively, once your entire bride, now, do you anticipate a large bridal party?
We're looking at, what's it, 5 and 5, it's like 10.
Yeah.
About 10, and then the little babies. And then
Perfect. 10, the little babies, and
Right.
Because
So about 4.
Rosny will be waiting for you at the altar.
Yes.
So this will turn into your holding room.
Okay.
Okay, this is where you and the entire bridal party will be positioned, ready to begin the procession.
Okay.
Okay, and my dear, this is where you would walk down the Now, we just wrapped up an event 2 days ago, so we're going to pressure wash the floor, make it pristine up. So if you apologize when you're seeing the space, we're cleaning it. But with the ceremony space outside, we can accommodate up to 160 theater slots. Okay? So considering a 6-foot wide runner down the center, we will have seating for half of your guests on the left, seating for half of your guests on the right. And if you guys want to come a little bit, bear in mind everything will be pristine white for your event. We can have one of 2 options. We can have the altar directly on ground level here, okay? Or we can build a riser and you guys can be slightly elevated from the rest of the group. Now, this is a 6-foot deep pool and water feature. If you guys want to go so extra, we can build an acrylic platform on top of the pool and you guys can get married on water.
Very fantastic.
I mean, I have to show you the space. I know it's July. So it's up to you. If you guys don't mind having your guests outside for 25, 30 minutes in that weather, which it can be hot, we can simply get some fans and you can have like the program on the fan. But it's completely entirely up to you if you like to host the ceremony outside. Another really cool feature too, these staircases that lead up to the pool, we can line up, and there's exactly 6 steps, so it's perfect. We can line up all of your groomsmen and all of your bridesmaids. Now you can go above and beyond with decor, or you can go very minimalistic and let the space speak for itself. Now I'll throw you a curveball. We can have the ceremony out here, or we can still have the ceremony inside. The ceremonies typically last about 25 to 30 minutes. We have a lot of clients that want to have their cocktail hours out here instead. So that's an option as well.
Right. That's really nice.
So however you guys want to utilize the real estate, completely entirely up to you.